Is there a double standard over the mental acuity of Donald Trump?
All right, Amish. Yeah, a couple ways to look at this race as we come out of the Labor Day holiday.
Tell me if this is you. The network news comes on and the anchor dispassionately talks about the election like this is an election between two normal, similar candidates. When it ain't. I mean, one of them is a prototypical American.
The American people. I believe in what we can do.
And the other candidate, well,
eating the dogs.
Forget policies, economic numbers, cultural benchmarks, all of which Harris proves she can not only articulate, but will implement with bipartisan diplomacy.
And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country. One who believes in what is possible, one who brings a sense of optimism about what we can do.
The networks are trying to pretend that they are journalists by ignoring the 800-pound gorilla in the room, which coincidentally is an 800-pound gorilla with a brain injury. But it's not journalism to ignore the outrageous coming out of Donnie's mouth. It's a dereliction of duty.
After months of hitting President Biden's fitness, Trump is now under scrutiny for his rambling at rallies and at that debate that we all just witnessed this week. We compared his debate answers back in 2016 to the ones that he gave this week. After the very first question on the issue of immigration, that is right there in his wheelhouse. This week, as you'll see, he veers off topic several times. Watch.
Well, first of all, she wants to give amnesty, which is a disaster and very unfair to all of the people that are waiting in line for many, many years. We need strong borders.
First, let me respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go.
They're coming in illegally. Drugs are pouring in through the border. We have no country if we have no border.
People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics.
The single biggest problem is heroin that pours across our southern borders, just pouring and destroying their youth.
And what's going on here, you're going to end up in World War III, just to go into another subject. What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country.
Now, I want to build the wall. We need the wall. The Border Patrol, ICE, they all want the wall. We stop the drugs. We shore up the border.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
And once the border is secured, at a later date, we'll make a determination as to the rest. But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
If she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I mean, come on. I have 8 years of clips of this guy.
And she wrote the most beautiful story you've ever seen. It was a love story about Melania and myself, a love story in People magazine.
It was the Battle of Gettysburg. What an unbelievable, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many different ways. It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg, wow.
You've seen them. They're a menagerie of hate, sociopathy, evil, and insanity. But the question is, why aren't we screaming this from the rooftops?
I want all of you to get up out of your chairs.
Trump cried like a little bitch when he was fact-checked at the debates, lying about after-birth abortions and immigrants eating cats.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
Then he called for the debate moderators to be arrested. That alone should make the country go, what the hell is wrong with these people voting for this guy?
If Trump wins, will you accept the results?
Of course.
If Kamala wins, will you accept the results?
No.
Now, there is an alternative theory that Trump spews this crazy shit to distract us from our real inadequacies.
There's even more to it than demonizing immigrants, although that's obviously part of what he's doing. This is a strategy to get us talking about the latest crazy thing that he did, whatever urban legend he amplifies. Right now, it's about people eating cats or geese or whatever, because he cannot afford for us to be talking about his record. He doesn't want us talking about the fact that we lost manufacturing jobs on his watch, even before COVID, which is why the United Auto Workers are against him. He doesn't want us talking about the fact that his main economic policy promise he actually kept was to cut taxes for the rich. He doesn't want us talking about how he demolished the right to choose in this country, that he's the reason that even IVF could be banned in many places in this country. The last thing he wants us to do is to talk about his record or his agenda.
And there's truth to that, as Trump constantly lies about his great economy, which it wasn't, how he's great for women, which he ain't.
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman.
Yeah, there has to be some form.
How the stock market will collapse under Democrats, it's doubled under Biden, and how Putin respects him, which is, well, hilarious. But how do we, people with brains who aren't malignant narcissists, how do we tell the story of Donald Trump without sounding crazy? I mean, when Trump says,
Right up until birth, and even after birth, the execution of a baby.
the moderator should scream, "You're insane!" but instead calmly says,
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
Or when Trump said immigrants are eating cats and dogs, how does a normal person respond to that?
ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
but
television.
But the people
I'm
on
taking it from
television
the city
saying their
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there.
That's not what I would have done. I'd have shut down the debate and called an EMS for Fat Donnie's stroke.
I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
I was on with my friend Mark Thiessen last night, who's a conservative Republican, and he made these same points about ABC. But then what he said was, if we're complaining about the refs, we're losing. So do Republicans wish there had been more fact checks of Kamala Harris? Sure. I would point out that Donald Trump got more than 10 minutes more than Kamala Harris to speak last night. So he was given a lot more time to speak by the numbers, and he had opportunities to use that time however he wanted. And the challenge was he used that time to take every bait that Kamala Harris put in front of him. He spewed lie after lie after lie.
Sure, Fox occasionally tells the truth about Fat Donnie, all while Hannity's lips are caressing his ballsack, but is it enough?
I just got back from vacation and noticed Kamala Harris has surged ahead of Trump in the polls.
Do enough Americans know about Project 2025?
The Department of Education is renamed the Department of American Values and mandates a nationwide Christian nationalist curriculum for all schools receiving federal aid.
If you don't like our religion, then we don't want you in our country.
Do they know what will happen to our economy with a 20% tariff on China and deporting 11 million people? I'll tell you, forget about the civil unrest. The economy, it will collapse. The real story that is Donald Trump that the journalists don't cover is an encyclopedia of how fragile America really is. We have the world's smartest minds, the biggest army, the greatest economy, yet it all stands on the precipice of collapse because a single psychopath and his millions of chicken shit rednecks.
I believe in hate speech. When you have hate for somebody, I am 100% into speech.
Is that a little too harsh? F you. I don't think so. Now's the time for the unfiltered truth. The first part is Democrats need Republicans to fight this civil war. And when we win, we need to reach out to the brave men and women on the other side who stood up.
I say this to my Republican colleagues who are defending the indefensible. There will come a day when Donald Trump is gone, but your dishonor will remain.
The second part is, until that time, it's time for the news to do its job, to tell the truth about Trump, even if it upsets your sponsors.
Looks like you're not sleeping well.
So media, do your gig. Choose a side now, before there is no side to choose.
Damn right.
I'm ready. Let's go.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Trust me.
Shut the fuck up, Dan.
Who's with me? Oh, yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes!
Tick-tock!
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.